Yo, what is up, everyone? It is I, Corey, the Jaginator Marco, back with another episode of the Dodcast. This time we got Season 6, Episode 8, recapping Thunder 2, of course, and predicting the big one, ANZIO, as I continue to try to fix things up. This is the third time trying to record this. This computer has crashed numerous other times thus far. So yeah, let's just get right into it because I'd really like to try to keep this as short as possible to avoid the potentiality of recording for like another hour and then having a crash on me. Ah! Okay. Right off the get-go, what we're going to do here is we're going to get up into the frag of the week. Bullet Fodder, once again, doing the frag of the week this time. He has done an excellent job thus far. And I believe that the next week is going to be Justin, PB. So it looks like we've got everything lined up to be able to continue to get frag of the weeks out week in and week out in the absence of War Within. The community has managed to step up and keep things flowing here, so that's always nice to see. All right, I need to move this a little bit so I can see. There we go. We've got the creator of the original Thunder and Donner maps here, Zarant. That's incredible. Wow, Bullet. Pulling out all the stops for the frag of the week. I love it.
I'm Zarant.
Let's go.
Author of Thunder and Donner. Please enjoy the frags of the week.
That's amazing. Bullet's got a real good grasp on how to make these frag of the weeks like feel like the frag of the weeks of old, right? It's not like so much just a highlight reel. Fucking Ian using the glitch spot. Damn it, Ian. Nice clip. Okay. Okay, Colin. We aimbotting? We aimbotting out here?
To subscribe. Leave a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.
Colin really taken to this heavy style here.
Drop a comment.
Oh my god.
Leave a like.
Oh. Dun 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 dun. Oh, poor Master Kenneth. Didn't even know what hit him. I think this cat farted.
Leave a comment.
Did you fart, Min? Okay. That's how that happened. Wow. I caught the death notice in the cast, but not the actual kills. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. Ha ha ha. Still going. Oh. Oh yeah. Mike Lacroix. Gandhi and DOD Donner / Thunder frag of the weeks. If you know, you know. Ooh, that's a shot. Oh, that didn't kill him? Looked like it did. Nice pre-aim. Nice. Oh! Ooh. Looking swift. Oh, I thought he was gonna hit that double. Oh my god, that would have been nuts. Drew. That's actually a pretty crazy shot right there with the STG. Oh, what a break. I haven't seen that happen too much. Oh, this clip, I saw this in the cast. This last shot. Woo. God damn, Justin. Yeah, Big Alaska represent Azilla. The #1 draft winners of all time. Ranked as the bottom team out of the draft. Goes on to win it all. Me, Carp, Sam, Azilla, Louie. And, of course, Alan, the team was named after. Azilla fragging it up as a rifleman, and he heavied for our draft team. He can do it all. We've seen him snipe as well.
Do not forget to subscribe.
Just keeping it coming.
Thank you so much.
Ha ha ha.
Hello there.
Hello there. Ha ha ha. I feel like one day this is gonna get done to me.
Leave a comment.
What is up? Oh yeah. Sorry, Kevin. That shot was a little ridiculous. Na 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 na. That shot was a little fucked up too. Na 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 na. It's hunting down that third kill. Oh yeah. Ben. Na 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 na. Wow. Chi. Whoa. He's running. What a fucking 4K. Ooh. Sick. Oh, damn. Ooh. Jesus. Wow. I think I saw this. Yeah. Yep. Woo. It's a crazy shot. Haha, the spider webs. That is a ridiculous shot. Oof. Oh, what? This must have all happened early in the half, too, because Devin wasn't on the sniper for long. It was like maybe 5 minutes. Nice shot. I caught this, at least, in the cast. I remember him dropping the car, or picking up the car, dropping the car again, going up in the loft, and then getting a few more kills. Yeah. You can always see the way the brain is working on a sniper from this spot. Like, hoping for calls, right? Like, where are they? Because I got 10 spots to look at. Frank. Vintage Frank. Oh. 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 Frankie. I wondered how these clips happen. Oh, my neck. Woo! That shot. So oh, boy. Jeez, Frank. Oh my god. How many will it be? I thought for sure he was just gonna get all the kills from right there. He's back there. No shit. Skillet. Okay. 5. Oh, okay, not quite. I thought for sure he was going to get another kill there. Which, if he does, what are the calls like at that point, right? Like, he's still mid-alley, but he's not. He's run around to 3 different spots in that time. But you wouldn't really know any better at that point, right? Invincible!
Streaking!
Ha ha ha.
There's more coming.
I think I saw a big chunk of this clip at least. I just recall saying that Ben has like 10 kills in a row or something like that. They pretty much couldn't get him out of this spot. Good tracking. God damn. Mm. 7. Oh, that's unlucky. Oh, I think whoever that was died anyways. Yeah. An actual no-scope. You don't see those out of Ben often. Usually it's the quick scope. He's not used to the RNG gods working against him. Oh, just got by that. 9. Is he gonna get the 10? Was I correct when I said it was a 10 kill streak? Alright. Yeah. Wow. That's another really fun frag of the week right there. Wow. Good shit, Bullet. Yet again. Coming through in the clutch. That is excellent. Including getting a shout from the OG maker of the map. Like, how does that happen? That's crazy. Wow. Alright. So, let's jump into it because let me tell you something. If this thing isn't out, like, before 8 o'clock tonight Eastern, then you know that it's because this recording crashed, which means you wouldn't be seeing this anyways, to be fair. Alright, where are we? That's Lennon, that's Lennon, that's Lennon, Lennon. Lennon. That looks like Thunder. Clan X versus the Wickeds. Yes, this is the first Thunder match. Alright, so we did get to cast this one. Bud is missing from the screenshots. This game was like the first game played of the week. Clan X versus the Wickeds, 187 to 52 in Clan X's favor, staying undefeated there. This was second half, I believe. So first half, 137 to 16 in favor of Clan X. The kills were plus 78, which is absolutely crazy. Rafinha could have easily had 50 kills. He was at 46 with like a minute left. And then I went to go watch him on the hunt for 50, and he pretty much just didn't even bother leaving spawn. He was just standing in the corner like bayoneting the wall and stuff. So 46 for Rafinha there. 32 for Lobaton, also having himself a game. 25 for Nitrox. 24 apiece for Bud and BLK. Good to see BLK back in action. And 20 for Matt. Nobody negative in that half for Clan X. And then on the other side for the Wickeds, you had 20 for Jeraera, 18 for Paiva, 16 apiece for Manda and Ryan, 12 for AZ, and 11 for Zaps. And then a closer half this time, around 50 to 36. We're missing Bud from the screenshots of the kill totals. Unclear. On the Wicked side, Mand had a really nice car half here. Like, I mean, he had died 31 times because Clan X is insane, but watching him play really in both halves, he looked great on a rifle. I talked the one week because I was wrong and hadn't paid close enough attention to the screenshot about him being such a good sniper, but he can very well play with the rifles as well. Maybe he can heavy too. Unclear, but we might see that happen at some point. Paiva with 21, 16 a pop for Zaps and AZ, 15 apiece for Ryan and Jeriera. On the Clan X side, Bud missing from this screenshot. Lobaton with 33, Nitrox with 29 on the sniper. Yeah, Nitrox sniped here. Rafinha with 25, 18 for BLK, 14 for Matt. Rafinha was the MVP, ending up with, 71 kills overall. Just staying right on pace with his stats for the season. And again, undefeated. Clan X continues. They got a big match coming this week. All right. So, on to the next one here. Red Shirts and Expired. I didn't get to see this game at all because I was still asleep. And then it turned out that I was actually awake in time. Like, I woke up at like 20 to 4. But I was like, fuck, I missed the cast. Like, I'm just going to get myself situated for the day because there was like a 5 o'clock game. And then it turned out that, yeah, they were playing at 4, not 3. So, there you go. Anyways, 253 to 21 for the Red Shirts. We saw Colin with a bunch of clips there in that frag of the week. That's second half, so the halves are in order here. So first half, Red Shirts 166 to 16, plus 42 on the kills. You had 36 on Colin, 33 on Milo, 28 on Chi with that nice 4K Garan we saw as well. 18 for Kyle, 15 apiece for Meep and Big Bird. And on the expired side, 21 for Pizza Hut, 20 for Anna, 18 for Coffee, 17 for Raven, 15 for Oliver, and 12 for Master Kenneth. And then in the second half, 87 to 5 in favor of the Red Shirts. This half, Milo with 35 on the sniper, continuing to have a ridiculous sniper stat line this season. Who says he can't snipe? He's a sniper now, and he's fully committed. 29 for Colin. Again, really nice game overall there on the heavy for him. Was 62, I believe it was, or was it 64? Sorry, neither. It was 36 and 29 for 65. So none of the above. 25 for Meep, 22 apiece for Chi and Big Bird, and 14 for Kyle. And then on the expired side, 35 for Coffee there. What a half for him. That's crazy. To end up with 35 kills in a game like that is very, very admirable. I have no idea where he found the 35 kills. That's a testament to Coffee, right? He finds value always. 26 for Master Kenneth, 18 for Quirk, 17 for Pizza, 16 for Anna, 15 for Raven, and a big W for Red Shirts to keep pace with the other teams at the top of the Silver Division. It's very much up for grabs all throughout those top, 4 seeds, basically. So, gonna have to keep watching to see what goes down with that. On to the next one, a DOD team versus Style Argentino. So, 128 to 71, a 57-point victory there for a DOD team, again, to keep pace with the rest of the, top 5, 6. So, I'm not sure which half was first. We're just going to do it in order. First half, a DOD team on Allies, 53 to 18, plus 16 on the kills. Drew, of course, with 35 on the bar. Quarter with 30 on the sniper. Good half for him. 26 for Mike. Had a bunch of frag of the week clips. 24 for G, my Quebecois brethren. 18 for Bo and 13 for Nick. On the Argentino style side, Svelty with 31. We saw him have a ridiculous sequence on ANZIO as well, which we're not going to get into this week. 24 for Empy, same thing for him. Proxy with 22, Lucho with 20, Dende with 19, and Pocho with 14. And on to the second half, Axis side here for DOD team, 76 to, that looks like 33? 53? 53. So again, a pretty close half there, plus 35 on the kills though, so very much out fragging, but not quite able to find the full cap, obviously. That's probably mostly holding out, probably 15 minutes of the mid cap. But three-sided quarter with 33, great game for him, 63 overall. Same for Mike, 30 on the car, a bunch of clips in the frag of the week. Crod as well, 28 on the STG, 23 apiece for Nick and Bo, and 22 for G. Very well distributed frags across the board there. And then on the Argentino style side, Svelti with 25, Proxy with 23, Pocho with 22, Empy with 22, 18 on Dende, and 14 on Lucho. And a DOD team continuing their winning ways, you know. They, right there, right at that borderline, they could end up in either side of the silver bracket. You know, I think if they were to end up on the B side, they'd have to be the favorite, right? They are a good-looking team right now. Okay, and that's not it. This is it. Okay, so SEC versus on-time arrivals. This was the match of the week. I didn't get, it was kind of up in the air which game I was going to cast. It was at the same time as the Icy Hot game. We did a poll. The Icy Hot game won. This game ended up being closer. 117 to 86. SEC taking the W here to stay firmly in that second place in the silver division. Well, not like they're there necessarily by themselves, right? Now they're tied with red shirts, so they needed that W to stay in that position. Nonetheless, though, a very essential win for them, and a very close game against a tough on-time arrivals team. We saw some frag of the week footage from that game as well. So first half, 10-point victory for SEC on the Axis side, a 1-kill lead for on-time arrivals on their allied side. For SEC, Trance on the car, 33 and 25. Great half for him. 27 for Tony on the Unt. 22 for Pibian on the Sniper, 22 and 18. Nice little Axis side sniping there. 21 for Mr. Honcho. 15 for Insight and 14 for Hip. And on the on-time arrival side, Ian Galasso continuing his excellent season on the Sniper, 30 and 12 there. 29 for Azilla, Big Alaska represent. 21 apiece for Bullet and Ben. 20 for Bobby and 12 for Epion. 10-point deficit at the half. And then on to the second half. Ends up being 21 points, just a little bit less close, and enough on the SEC side to take that thing by basically a cap overall. They were plus 16 on the frags as well. I'm going to turn on the AC. It's starting to get a bit fucking hot in here. Gotta love late October, am I right? Alright, so on the SEC side of things, 34 and 16 for Pibian, of course, the man's a god. 32 for Mike Honcho on the Garand. Not car barring here. There was some speculation about that. He was rifling. 28 for Trance on the other Garand. 21 apiece for the bars of Hip and 9 and 15 for Insight. And on the on-time arrival side, again, 30 kills for Ian. Just a great game for him all around on a sniper map. 27 for Azilla on the car. Again, saw some frag of the week clips there. Bullet with 26. 22 for Ben. 17 for Epion. 13 for Bobby. And in a big game in silver, SEC come out on top. Alright. Moving forward, because again, this computer could crash at any time, and at that point I will give up on getting this thing out today. Alright, let's start off with our game in gold. Dice, 128 to 78 for 3H, 50-point win there for Dice. You know, it's Dice. They played extremely well as a team. It's tough to break through on a team that's playing that well altogether. You know, there's not a whole lot to say about it. Just if you watch any of their games, it's a very similar game where they're all on their shit. No one's really making not even big mistakes, but any mistakes, right? Like their mistakes are so few and far between that they're not even often able to be capitalized on. You know, I think we finally like they had, and it was so predictable that they had us down to our last flag, like in the first 4 or 5 minutes, just locking us down at the 2 and the 1. We had it happen to us against them earlier in the week, scrimming on this map. We played each other on the map we were playing later on. And it happened to us in the scrim right before on Clinic as well on our allied side, like fresh right off the bat, boom, push back to our last flag and hanging on for dear life. Eventually, we were able to break out through Lower Church. Like I think me and Frank just kind of did what we had to do against Clinic to break out against them in the scrim. And just kind of balls out, push through Church to get behind them, get a couple kills, hop on mid, grab mid. And then we actually it was maybe for the worse because we killed like 5 of them. And I think as a team overall, we miscalculated just how slow or fast the respawn timer would be. Because rather than be like, hey, we were just down to our last flag for like 10 minutes, we need to hold mid and get some of these ticks back, we just kind of pushed for a cap out and lost 4 or 5 of us very, very quickly to their respawn wave. And ended up giving mid back pretty soon thereafter. Then it was kind of traded back and forth. All in all, 24-point victory for them in this half, plus 10 on the kills. Asani with the top frag, 35 on that card, just a beast. 25 apiece between Alex and Matt and Ryan as well. Again, just like everyone's doing their job for this team. And 17 apiece for Kevin and Paul. And on the 3H side, I had 28 on a Garand. Frank had 26 on a Garand, 22 apiece for Andrew on a Garand and Austin sniping, 20 for Defrag on a bar, and 16 for Matt on the other bar. And then into the second half, you know, kind of the same story. They got mid first. They had us out at our 2 for a minute there. We finally broke out. There's one point where, like, we got a few kills in mid, and we were about to cap, but somebody got off the cap, like, right before it went off, thinking that we were going to get naded, but then we didn't get naded. But then when we got back on the cap, we didn't have enough time to get the cap. They did nade now, and then at that point, it's just kind of a slippery slope. We ended up getting mid back at some point, but again, it was 26 points, like, very similar the way both halves went, plus 13 on the kills for Dice. Matt Bazana with 33 on the Garand. Senor 1 Garand over here. You know how it goes with Matt. 27 for Alex on the Garand. 24 for Kevin. 23 apiece for Asani and Paul. And 22 for DB. I mean, just look at the kill distribution there. It's crazy. It's just such a well-oiled machine. And then on our side, we had 38 on Frank doing everything he can to just throw us onto that well-toned back of his. 24 for Andrew on the Stas, 23 for me on the car, 21 for Defrag on a heavy, 20 for Austin on the sniper, and 13 for Matt. Good game to Dice. I think, to be honest, it wasn't as close as the score shows. I think that score is a little bit deceiving because they were up our asses. Like, we were on full defense for a large chunk of that 40 minutes to where any one player on our team, like missing any one shot at any point, could have easily been a full cap in both halves. You know, Dice just looks great, and I can't wait to see Dice play Icy Hot on ANZIO this week. That's going to be a very fun one. Icy Hot versus Clinic. This is the game we casted Sunday night. 155-41, a very, very convincing win for Icy Hot here. This map is so suited to them individually and as a team. Their play styles, just the angles, the length of it, the speed of it, everything. This is, I would call this borderline Icy Hot's home map at this point. It's like this, Armory, ANZIO, I would say, are the big ones for Icy Hot, where it's going to be tough for anyone to beat them. Anyone. Now, I don't even just mean the teams currently in the league. I mean anyone. So, first half, 91-9 in favor of Icy Hot here. So you can see 163-131 in favor of Icy Hot. On the Clinic side, Carp, of course, 31 kills. Vic with 29. Taylor with 23. 19 on Insom. 15 for Sam. 14 for Tom. Carpenter. I know he was feeling like he was in a bit of a slump, but if he was in a slump before, which I don't really... to me, he wasn't. He just had, like, one off half, really. And it was Lennon Axe's side sniping. We all suck at that, to be honest. He still did more than I do sniping Axe's side of Lennon. But he came back with a vengeance here on this map with a great performance. On the Icy Hot side, though, Ben ends up the MVP. As you can see in the frag of the week, he had a million fucking kills. 35 for him in this half, 28 for Mitch, 28 for William, 26 for Sean, 24 for Jesse, and 22 for Justin. Again, just so evenly distributed between the 6 guys. It's crazy. Those 2 top teams are just, it's like they're up here, everyone else, and you might see that reflected in the standings. I talked about it in the cast. We got 2 teams really close at the top, and the other 4 teams, legitimately, I could very easily see a scenario where the other 4 are tied. Virtually tied, like we all beat each other once for the whole season. We're already halfway there right now. And if HTF beats us this Sunday, which I could very easily see happen, then we're more than halfway there. You only need a couple more things to happen. Then we just got to split with over on the last day of the season. All of a sudden, we're getting the dream scenario there. So, 64-32, a bit of a closer half here. Clinic was threatening and battling back. They never stop battling. It's Clinic. You know they're not gonna. But 169-134 in the kills. Ben again, 37 on Axis side. 34 for Sean on the car. 28 for Justin on the Stas. Really making his case for the best third. I mean, he was already the best player last season. Just full stop, right? And Sniper and the Kellen Russ Swiss Army Knife Award winner. Even though I never did the awards, he won those awards. Now this season as a dedicated third, just proving that you're getting like 55 kills or more a half out of your third. That's wild. You can be happy with like 40 to 45 out of your Stas so long as he's getting them in the right spots in the right ways. But he's, sometimes doubling up on that. 24 for William on the car, and 23 apiece for Jesse and Mitch on the heavies. And yeah, obviously. Oh wait, I didn't do Clinic. I'm an idiot. I for some reason I always end up going backwards. Like I do the team and then I do the team a second time. For the Clinic side of things, Sam with 30, he had a great half on the Grand, as did Carp on the Sniper with 28, Vic with 26. He just had a great game overall. Vic has been excellent all season long. Don't sleep on how good Vic has been for Clinic this season. He deserves to be in that conversation with the best true heavies in the game easily. Just go watch any of the casts I've done of Clinic, and Vic is always one of the standout players in those games, no matter what's happening, win, lose, or draw, as we've had as well. In particular in that game, he was very standout as well. And then 20 for Taylor, 16 for Insom, 14 for Tom, and yeah, Icy Hot stays undefeated. Again, I am so glad that we weren't the team to draw them on this map. That's like pretty much the last map I would want to play these guys on, to be completely honest with you. Just about. I don't know if like ANZIO, I would feel better about, I think, overall than that map. Armory, I think maybe between Thunder and Armory are the two maps that I would really not want to play Icy Hot on. And, just what are you going to do against that team? There's nothing you can do at this point. The only team right now that is really a threat to give Icy Hot any sort of a loss is DICE. And we saw on a map like Solitude, they are very capable of doing so. I think a lot in that matchup with them just comes down to the map, because they're both so consistent from top to bottom, have such a good grasp on how to play off of one another, how to play with one another, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, how to rotate around every map, how to adjust on the fly, how to break through tough situations. They've got all the fundamentals, like those two teams are head and shoulders right now above the rest of the pack. There's still some season to go, right? People have the opportunity to establish themselves going forward. HTF is getting a lot stronger, it looks like. Certainly Over and Clinic are right there. We've seen just how good those two teams can be as well. I maintain that on paper, Over, with their best 6, on paper, are still the second best team. But that's just on paper. That really doesn't matter. Their lineup is such a revolving door that, it just hasn't really mattered this season. They're way better than their record reflects. Let me be clear. It's just, you never know what 6 you're going to get out of Over. And in practicality, paper doesn't fucking matter here. DICE is clearly the next best team in gold by a long, long range. In preseason, me saying how Over is the second best team on paper, just, what does it matter now, right? Until you see Over busting out there like God Squad lineup, it's just a statement, right? Speaking of the last game, to recap here, HTF getting on the board in the debut of Dillard. And what a performance by Luke as well. 114-106, such a close game. Over, they made some adjustments on the fly. They started off with Devin sniping, which I understand why, right? On this map, you really want a sniper who's going to make things tough on the other team. But it just wasn't working. They swapped out Devin onto the car. And Kum was having a lot of trouble with his FPS in mid, so they were having to send 3 guys bunker, which sucks. But he, literally, I guess, couldn't even, move around if he was in mid because his FPS was shooting down so bad. So all in all, tough luck. in a lot of ways for over as well. But you can't take anything away from Here to Frag here, because this was a hell of a performance as a team. So, first half, a 20-point lead HTF comes out of on their allied side, plus 14 on the kills. For over, Saka again. Whatever he plays, man, putting up numbers. 30 kills for him there. 23 apiece for Caffrey and Devon. 17 for Kumkum. 16 for SC. 12 for Mata. On the HTF side, he had 30 on Arachnid. Talked about it plenty. He's so good on this map. It really, he's great at working those kinds of areas like the Access Loft or the Church on allies, like being able to be mobile in a smaller area and kind of isolate angles to where he doesn't have to take a lot of, like, they're in a million places, right? When he has any idea where you might be coming from, he's not going to miss. I would be willing to wager that if you could do a shooting percentage stat in this game, he would have one of the highest. He doesn't miss shots a lot. So yeah, 30 and 18 for him on allies. Justin with 29. We saw those freaky frag of the week clips. Luke with 26 in his debut half. 19 for Jared on the Tommy. 16 for Stark and 15 for Piff on the heavies. And then on to the big second half, the finale here. They end up losing this half, but by only 12 points to come out of it with an 8-point victory, plus 16 on the kills for them there. I think this half, it was a lot more evident that Kumkum was not in middle, like, at all. And I pointed it out on the cast, like, I wonder why Kumkum is in bunker. Like, I wonder if that was, like, an active strategy, what the reason might be for it. And then he came into the chat afterwards and told us, you know, like, I'm getting 10 FPS in mid, so I had to go bunker. Very unfortunate, but HTF fucking cashed in, man. They looked insane in this half. On the overside, Devon, of course, 25 kills leading the way. 23 apiece for Mata and SC. 24 for Caffrey, just ahead of them. 22 for Saka, 20 for Kumkum, very evenly distributed for those guys as well. And then on the HTF side, the big boys with the cars, man. 34 for Luke, 33 for Justin. Just insane, man. Pun intended, just insane. 32 for Piff as well is another big one. Piff getting to play more often than not is very good for HTF because, first of all, he always has strong axis halves, which is not common in this game. There's only a few other heavies currently playing that you'll see very consistently generally be even stronger on their axis side. You know, even not necessarily that, but like that they're going to be comparable. Crawd is another good example of that. Like, he always has good STG scores. But Piff, I didn't see him play for a few weeks. I don't know if maybe he was just kind of like not around, but seeing him back in the lineup, very big for this HTF lineup. On top of obviously Dillard coming in. Like, I think that it's a combination of multiple things that make HTF more formidable now even. And then Arachnid with 26 and 16 on Axis there. 19 for Stark, 9 for Jared. Jared, he was talking about it in the chat immediately afterwards. He just had like the worst fucking luck. The Unter wasn't working for him. He's getting naded into oblivion. I've had those halves so many times on this map. This map and Armory, like, that is basically my whole experience most of the time, was Jared's experience in that half. Just like, I can't fucking do anything here. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm shooting guys, they don't die. When I'm not shooting guys, I'm getting naded. It's just one of those things that happens. But huge win for HTF here. A statement victory. Big time. Over is a very good team. Been around since the dawn of KTP. Always been a contender. Always making pushes to at least the semis and playoffs. And HTF getting on the board with a victory over them here on Thunder. What a debut for this new look lineup of HTF, and plenty more to come from them going forward, I assure you. Alright, now, let's get on to the predictions. Where are we at here? I'm making good time, because I fucking have to, because I ain't recording this thing again today. I ain't recording this thing, well, okay, I will back at my house. That's right, I have to travel fucking 7 hours soon, but I'm gonna get this shit done, boys. Alright, so, just taking a quick look at the standings there. In gold, 7-0 for ICEAT, 6-1 for Dice. So we have us and Over are both missing a game on Armory. So odds are, here's what happens: Over beats us on Armory. We're both 2-5. Here to Frag beats us on ANZIO. Here to Frag beats whoever they're playing after that. Over beats the other team, and then we're all 2 and how many games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's 10 games. We all end up like 3-7. Yeah, 3-7. I think that's the way it would work out. We already went 1-1 with Clinic. If we go 1-1 with Over, which feels very possible, and then Here to Frag goes 1-1 and also wins their other game against Clinic, which is very possible as well. You could have a 3-7 tie here across the board. Wait, what's left to be done? Who do we play? We play Here to Frag, Icy Hot, and 2 games against Over. Yeah, that could very easily be what happens. And on the Silver side of things, you got 7-0 for Clan X, the dominant force in the Silver Division right now. They got a big one this week, though, against the Red Shirts. Not the Red Shirts, SEC, who are 6-1. Red Shirts also 6-1. 5-3 for on-time arrivals. That game with Red Shirts on Thunder was a big one. No Pussy with a couple games to be played here. They're at 4-2 right now. Obviously, well, 1 game to be played, which is, I think, this Sunday they're going to do it, I believe. A DOD team at 3-4, and that's pretty much the cut right now for A and B. No-Go at 2-4 right there. They are the game in hand against No Pussy, so depending on how that goes, things could move around a little bit. You could see 4-3 here, 3-4, 3-4. And then Expired, Argentino Style, and the Wickeds. So, trying to cruise along here. Spoiler alert, as you see, DOD ANZIO we're coming up to. This is the staple. This is the map that makes and breaks. It separates the big boys from the little boys when it comes to the team play aspect. Who is the best team? There's plenty of maps where like just raw frag power can win out, and I mean, in a big mismatch that can happen on ANZIO too, right? But if you have 2 pretty evenly matched teams, then most of the time it's going to be your team play that wins or loses you the game. Which is what I love to see. It should be automatically a finals map. For all that happened at the end of Season 5, with our series against Bandits, I would have pretty much rather just played ANZIO for the final map, just to have it be like, we're 1-1 in the series, we're playing each other on the map to play in the finals. I mean, that Saints game was fucking insane, though, so I can't say, like, I wish we had, but at the time, I really would have rather played ANZIO, because it's such a great measuring stick of who really is the best team. Win or lose, I would have preferred ANZIO. And we probably would have lost. We already lost to them on ANZIO during the regular season by a pretty hefty amount. I think it was like 210 or 250 or something like that. But yeah, ANZIO. We know what the match of the week is this week. It's right there. A win for SEC here would actually give them first place, because then they'd both have 1 loss, and SEC would have the tiebreaker. You also got No-Go and the Wickeds, a DOD team and Expired, Red Shirts, and No Pussy is another big one. Assuming No Pussy can beat No-Go, a win against Red Shirts would put them within striking distance of the 3 seed at least. And as you see there, on-time arrivals beat Argentino Style, but we'll do that next week. Alright, so, starting it off, No-Go and the Wickeds here. On the no-go side of... Did I switch the screen? I did, okay. On the no-go side of things, generally speaking at least, Deidro, Nicholson, Ryan, Schmaltz, Kush, and Blue. Oh, Manga's on the team now. That's sick. Good to see Manga back in action here, getting on the no-go roster. Really good player. I'm not sure if he wasn't available enough or something, but good to see him on a team. So you could see him in the lineup too, right? You could see... Greg, I haven't seen play in a while, so I don't know if he's not around, but when Spoon is around for no-go, that's big. Same with Matthew. Matthew's such a good player. Haven't really seen him play, but the 6 that I listed has generally been the 6 for no-go. And then on the side of the Wickeds, you've got Jiraiya. Well, actually, okay, so Jiraiya, AZ, Ryan, Zaps, Manned, and then kind of a 50-50 shot on who the other one will be. Is it Jiraiya Jr.? Is it Fusa? Is it Leto? Not always clear. It's been pretty 50-50 across the board between who would end up playing in those situations for the Wicked. So, in this case, ANZIO, right? Experience oftentimes will win out here. I could see Manned being a very formidable car on this map, and Garand for that, just in general, being with the rifle. Manned and Zaps potentially as a rifle team could be very, very interesting for the Wickeds. Darren will be sniping for no-go and will pretty well lock down Bridge on Axis side, Plaza on Allied side, getting into Tower, getting into Meat Locker. the heavy battle in street, always so important. I can't stress that enough to teams that don't know this already. Street, the whole map flows through street, right? It's dead center. There's a flag in there that you can protect. You can go straight out to either double cap. You can do it in a ninja fashion as well, going through the sewers, up to church, out to bridge, through meat, through ivy, through main ramp. It's just so important, street. So many things can go wrong if you do not control street. And I think the heavy team for no-go here, you got to favor in that regard, regardless of who it is, kind of. Whether you got Spoon or not, whether it's Schmaltz. Schmaltz has been playing great as well. And Twist, Ryan is another very good heavy. So I'm inclined to go with no-go here. For the Wickeds, though, like, if they can kind of focus the game plan around making sure they don't lose street, they get the areas of the map on each half that they should have. Don't worry about, like, getting ahead of yourself and, like, oh, we have to go straight for getting both the double caps. Like, no, on allies, focus on controlling plaza, focus on bridge, on controlling bridge, make sure street is something that you're not losing track of, and from there, work your way back around to the rest of it. I think that's kind of keeping it simple for the Wickeds, right? Don't try to do too much. That's the way back into the game. No-go, very experienced, though, very aware of this kind of stuff. Be a tough thing to actually pull off, but to me, that's the way back in here. But I'm going with no-go. They're just a way better team than their record indicates right now, right? Like, same with over. Both those teams are so much better than their record shows. It's just a matter of time before that levels out. And there's not a lot of time left in the season, so I expect both those teams are going to be doing a lot of winning for the remaining weeks. All right. Moving on to the next one here. We've got a DOD team and expired. So for a DOD team, again, a little bit of revolving six. You got Nick around, you got Bo, Handy, G. Kevin has played a couple times. Quarters generally playing and sniping. Drew been one of the best heavies in the game all season, for multiple seasons. And then Mike, when he's there, very important guy to have. On ANZIO, I think, especially another one similar to Thunder, where he is a very, very good, strong rifle. And then on the expired side of things, let me just double check who they had playing last week here. Because they kind of have been back and forth as well, right? I think it was Anna, Pizza Hut. Quirks played last week as well. Master Kenneth is generally always in there. Coffee's generally always in there. And then Raven on the sniper. This is an interesting one. So expired, again, a team who I really like to watch play. They play the game in a fun way. I didn't include Skiro there, but Skiro usually is in the lineup as well. I guess it'll depend between him and Ali, but who ends up in that sixth spot. Gene has also been in that spot as well. Crowd, right? That's a big one you got to deal with on any map. But in particular here, your heavies, Coffee really has to be on Crowd watch and not let him run wild, because that's what Crowd does. And if he is succeeding at doing that, you can't win that map, because he will have street, he will have plaza, he will be pushing your ones from very favorable areas. That's major importance right there. Sniper battle-wise, Raven and Quarter, I think pretty even. The snipers don't really have to fight each other, so that kind of works out, right? Where you could see the snipers both have great halves across the board. So kind of tough to really level that out. Gandhi, going bridge here with the car and the Garand, going to be a major X factor. You're going to need big performances out of Pizza and Anna and Master Kenneth over there. And then, on Axis side, Raven. Like, if Raven can really lock down bridge, especially on Axis side, and keep Crowd, like, mostly under wraps on expired Allied side, that gives them an in back into this game. But again, if you let Crowd run wild, like, it's just such an uphill fight from there. It almost doesn't even matter what else is going on from a DOD team. Like, he's the motor on that team, and he's always a-going. So, you can't let him get too comfortable in Plaza and in Street, because if you're not a threat to him at all, then he's just going to fucking run forward and kill everybody. You got to kind of get him to not feel like he can just run wild all over you, just to keep saying the same. That's the best way to describe what Crod does. Like, he's just going out there ripping heads off, running forward. He is not the kind of guy that's going to sit back and let you come to him. He is going to take the fight to you, and he's going to win most of the time. So you need a game plan for that. You need an idea of how to not let that happen. I don't know what that is. Everybody knows this already in Silver. He is killing it in the stats. There's no secret how good Crawd is. So this isn't like some fucking wild idea here, but that's a very important thing for Expire to have a shot in that game. And then obviously you could, by controlling the other side of the map and just being aware of the threat of Drew, like say you have Bridge locked down, if you don't have Street, you need to be aware that he could push out sewers or he could come behind you meet. You just gotta be aware of those big X Factor players at all times. And that makes it really easier said than done. Like, if you just have Bridge, like, if you just shit on fucking Gandhi and Head Like a Hole and Purdy or whatever, very easy to say. I gotta take a DoD team here. Crawd has been so good for like however many straight weeks. Just go back over all the screenshots of his teams. He's been really consistently good for seasons now. So why would I expect that it would be any different this week? I don't. Just again, something to focus on for Expired. The heavies need to be able to have some kind of control over those heavy areas, and in particular, not let Drew get 80 kills like he normally does. But again, everybody knows this and hasn't been able to stop him, so the odds are not heavily in their favor on that regard. And then red shirts and no pussy. This is a big one in the standings. For red shirts, pretty similar 6 most of the time. Alapex, Timo, Chi, Milo, Meep, and then Red Dog or Big Bird, depending on who it is, right? Usually you got Milo sniping, Timo on a heavy, Chi on a rifle, and then on the heavies, like usually you'll have Red Dog as the other heavy or Big Bird. Kyle's usually like got a third, and then Meep is usually on a main rifle. And then on the no pussy side of things, again, you usually have Scotty on a rifle, Yanni on a heavy, Manor on a heavy, Toki definitely on a sniper, Kingyo definitely on a Stas, and mostly Adam Bromley has been on the other car. But Louis can play anything, Secretly can play anything. Anytime you can get, especially Secretly, with how he's just a game-breaking player, into the lineup, immediately you got another big, big threat that teams are going to have to be on the lookout for, right? This is a tough one. With a map like ANZIO, this is fucking tough. Milo against Toki, they're not going to really be sniping against each other, but like who can control their areas of the map better? Which oftentimes isn't really necessarily even down to the sniper. Like, if the rest of your Plaza team dies on allies, like, what are you going to do? They're going to overwhelm you eventually. There's only so much you can do at that point. Same thing on Bridge. Like, eventually you're going to get fucked if everybody else dies. But still, a good 2 snipers here that both, I'm sure, will have great games on their routes. I assume Scotty in double windows, great double windows car, really understands the route and how to play it, how to control it, how to not let it get out of hand as well, which sometimes can be just as important. You don't even necessarily always have to be like dominating on Plaza, but if you can keep the bars under control to the point where they're not like constantly fucking pushing up your ass in Sundial, pushing out Street, just having a little more control, even when you don't have control of the double cap, can go a long way, and he is somebody who understands that side of the game. Of course, Yanni and Manor up against Colin and Red Dog or Big Bird, like the heavy battle on this map, always very important because of how much you can shift around the map. And then, Chi on that car with Meep. I'm not sure which one will go double windows. I would assume Chi, just because Meep is a newer player. I guess maybe he's started car in double windows right off the bat. It's kind of a more nuanced route that you see players who go that route generally have always gone that route because it's just a little weirder. It's not as straight up as Bridge where it's like you're peeking these 2 spots, you're throwing nades into that one spot. Double windows has a lot of feel to it, so I'm assuming Chi will go that way. Try to keep things level in the Plaza. Man, this is a tough one. I think this game will be extremely close. No pussy, after a couple tough losses, I'm sure are kind of recalibrating, getting their stuff back together, because they are one of the best teams in Silver, like, for sure. Even if they're not in that top 2 and 3 right now, record-wise, they will be there come season's end. They will be in the semifinals. I guarantee it. They are so good as a team, as a unit, and as individuals, so the winning ways are going to come back for no pussy. Big, big test here for red shirts. Who does red shirts got for the rest of the season right now? There's a ranked match at the end. Okay. So red shirts in the other games, the Wickeds, And then it's the ranked matchups. Okay. So red shirts, if they win this game and beat the Wickeds, then that's 8-1. And then a ranked match, potentially end up playing against Clan X or SEC. I'm sure SEC would love to be able to go back to week 1 and not lose that game by 10 points or whatever it was, because that right there really threw a wrench in the works at the top of this division right now. But this is kind of like the biggest measuring stick now to finish out the season for red shirts. If red shirts win this game against No Pussy, I think they cruise to the 3 seed guaranteed, and with a few lucky bounces, they could end up in that 2 seed and get a bye, right? But for No Pussy, this is important to get back on track. I believe, do they have 2 games scheduled for that week? Let me see, 3 p.m. and where's the no-go game? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Is it here? No, that's Argentino style game. There's the expired game. Where is that makeup game? I feel like they were supposed to play it this weekend, but don't quote me on that. We could see 2 games for red shirts this week. All right. I don't know for sure when that's going to end up, but regardless, this is a very important game for both teams. No Pussy, this could be the difference between them potentially being able to go for a bye here, or at least get like a less crazy first round matchup. You don't want to end up losing 3-0. That's kind of like the inverse of what happened with them in seasons past. If they were to lose 3 in a row here now towards the end of the season, and then be looking at who do they go up against next? A DOD team, which is another fucking tough game. On Saints as well, which is more of an unknown quantity of a map when it comes to like actual team play. Obviously, it's been in plenty of 12-mans and scrims, but it's a new version of the map, so it's going to be a little different than what we saw last season, what we saw in that Bandits Thunder game, where it's like, who caps the most on Allied side? I think it's going to be a lot more level. Fuck, man, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm going to curse whoever I pick, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with No Pussy here to get back on track, but I might have just cursed them to a 3rd straight loss. I just think, again, from the team play aspect, No Pussy's been playing together so long. We've seen them play ANZIO a million times together. They have a really good grasp on this map. I think they can overcome any potential frag disparities in individual areas to make it work for them, but I think no matter who wins, this game comes down to within a cap, under 60 points. And it could go either way. This is another coin flip game where, it's like heads is, oh my god, heads is No Pussy. It's heads. So, like, I just cursed you. I'm so sorry, guys. But, could go either way, in all honesty. I don't know what I just did to my mouse there. And, of course, the match of the week here. For the 1 seed, again, Clan X just continuing through this gauntlet of having to play the teams that are their biggest threats week in and week out to try to keep the top of that mountain in their hands. For Clan X. Actually, I was sent their exact lineups. Boop, boop, ba-doop, boop. All right. So, for Clan X, you've got Lobaton, Rafinha, Bud, Matt, Soya, Nitrox. Very strong 6 for Clan X. And then on the SEC side of things, Corey Price. Very big for SEC to have Corey in there. He's great on it. I mean, he's great on every map, but like we've seen the shit that he can pull on ANZIO. Hypnotic, Pibian, Riv, 9, and Trance. Just 2 really strong rosters right there, man. This is a heavyweight battle right here. A lot of frag power. You've got like the tippy-toppy guys statistically in the silver division. I mean, obviously outside of also Crawd is the other guy that's right there at the top. Actually, I haven't looked in a minute, so it might be a little different by now. Let me pull it up. So Rafinha's right there. Milo has jumped up there. Holy shit, Milo. But when it comes to kills per match, you got 73 on Rafinha, 71 on Riv, 68 on Crawd for like the big 3 qualifiers. Obviously, there's some guys that weren't qualified, but Milo was 62 a match, Corey was 62 a match, Manor was 65, 62 for Collins, 61 for Chi. again, just throwing it back to that no pussy versus red shirts game. Yanni as well, right here, 53. Really strong performers across the board. Lobaton at 54. Soya right there at 52.3. Where's Bud at? Bud right there. Just so many of the strong. There's Pibian as well. I didn't mean to skip over Pibian, but 1.46 and nearly 60 kills a match. 28.6 a half to be exact. And there's Nitrox as well at 52. I mean, come on, man. So look at Gandhi right there too. When Mike's playing, man, you can count on him to be a boss. This is a big one. SEC, obviously, with the DNA of that Insomniac Gray Hair Mafia team just built into them. We saw with their backs against the wall against the eventual Silver Champs in Season 4, 3H. We saw that team able to execute an insane comeback with a few of these exact players there. Pibian, Corey, Nine, Riv, I believe we're all, and Hypnotic. This is like most of that fucking team right there. Wow, I didn't. I'd love to double check that was the exact. I'm pretty sure though that's like 5 out of the 6, and then Sean would have been the last one. I think that's it. So like this team can win on ANZIO even if they're losing by 250 with 5 minutes left. Tough ask here for Clan X. I think this is the biggest test of the season for them, given it's ANZIO against a team who's strong on ANZIO, against a team who can match up with them in that raw frag power and can match up with them on their team play all around. I think most people probably coming into the season would have rated these two teams as the best two teams in Silver, again on paper, which doesn't mean anything, but here we are in this case, it has played out that way for the most part. Man, I don't know. Obviously, lots of important micro battles going on all across this game. The heavy battle, I'm not sure necessarily what class Mr. Honcho will be playing. He rifled last week. We've seen him heavy most of the time. I think he's most valuable on the heavy just because there's not a lot of premier heavies out there. But Riv has always been able to play any fucking class at a elite level. So it kind of doesn't matter. He's going to be just as useful either way. On this map in particular, you got Corey and Trance. Those are two definite rifles right there. Like, on the cars, I would say you should have both those guys, just generally speaking. So I'm assuming you're going to see Riv on the heavy with Tony, and Hip on the third, but hypothetically you could see one of those other guy like Trance or Corey on a Stas and Riv on a car. You could even see Riv on the Stas. I'm very curious to see how SEC ends up distributing their resources here class-wise. You could even see something like Riv Unter Bridge, all sorts of options. If you want him to have more space to work with and not get kind of like locked down in the I gotta hold street on Axis side kind of shit, then let him take the bar plaza on Allied side, do what he does best. Obviously, a very, very big ask for Bud and Matt on the heavy side of things to have to potentially contain Riv right now. But just as big of an ask on the other side for Rafinha to be try to hold down Rafinha. He's at 515 kills right now. Only he is 12 up on Riv in the total kills. I mean, these guys are just putting up fucking bonkers stats. Holy shit. Crowd at 478. This is just crazy the number of kills these guys have. Corey Price, big X factor here though. He's not always in the lineup for SEC, but when he is, as you can see, he's getting 30 plus kills a half. That's what you get out of Corey. So gonna be very interesting, man. I don't fucking know. Of course, Pibian and Soya, another great two snipers who will be making it very difficult for the rifles to ever get comfortable on bridge or at the top of double windows and main ramp and plaza. Man, I don't know. I mean, for the sake of drama, right? SEC winning would be the most interesting, just to like pull everybody in the silver division even closer together in the standings. Hypothetically, you could see this rematch in the ranked week as well. So then you could see Clan X level it up at that point and take the 1 seed overall. I don't know, man. I have no idea what I would say gun to my head here, especially with it being ANZIO. Like, I think there's some maps where I would favor one a little more over the other, a little bit easier. But this is not one of those maps. It might honestly might come down to just one extra guy, because you know Rafinha's going to put up big numbers. You know Riv's going to put up big numbers. You know Corey. You know Pibby. And you know all these guys are going to have their big games. You just might need one more support player to go off here, and whichever support player in those roles, the guys that aren't necessarily getting 65 to 70 kills a game, whichever one of those guys has the biggest game, that could be the difference maker right there. Because when you add up the pieces, it's very even across the board. So I mean, whether it's Matt potentially having a big game, Nine potentially having a big game, these guys who are kind of the more support players to the big fraggers that are playing with them on the heavies, both in that case. Hypnotic had a huge game in that comeback win for Insomnia. If you see Hip put up a big half here, that was kind of very important in that Insomniac Gamers comeback, was Hypnotic dropping 4, 5, 3 kills at a time on bridge with a Garand. That I think is really what makes or breaks this game, because I think everybody is going to be on their shit. Everybody will be well prepared on both teams. You know what to expect for the most part from everything here. Just who's going to be that slightly overlooked player that comes through when he's needed most in this case. Because in DoD, everybody has the chance to do it. It's so frantic. The respawns, everything. There's never a guy who doesn't get a shot throughout the 40-minute course of a game to have a big moment. The opportunities will be there. It's just a matter of which individual guy can seize that. I think the team play will be immaculate from both sides. Or it could, on the inverse of that, it could come down to which team makes a big enough mistake. Who makes the biggest mistake between these two teams? That could be the difference maker. I can't pick this game. I gotta cast this game, man. I really hope I get to cast it. They moved. Oh, this is actually, they're not getting played until the 10th. Sick. Okay. Okay, so I should get to cast it because we have that much time ahead to make sure that we're not playing at the same time as them. So that won't be this week. So those guys are going to get to practice ANZIO a lot, and that should make this an even crazier game. That's awesome. Can't wait to see that game. That is going to be fucking ridiculous across the board. Really the be-all, end-all for the #1 seed in the Silver Division right there. All right. How much time? I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to power through. We got gold, right? All right, 3H in here to frag. Right off the bat, I believe the lineup for us this week will be defrag and Modgers, heavying-ish? I guess I'm not certain about all the class. Modgers is definitely heavying. CK is definitely rifling. I'm definitely rifling. Booten, maybe rifling, maybe heavying, unclear. Austin on a sniper. And on the here to frag side, I'm not certain. I'm pretty sure Ryan is playing this week. I'm pretty sure Jared said he's sniping, so I'm guessing that means no Arachnid. You gotta figure Luke is in there, Car and double windows. He's a beast at that. Justin on bridge. Good luck to everybody on 3H that has to play against him on bridge. And after that, I'm assuming Blackhawks. That's 1, 2, Piff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's probably the 6, but I don't know that for sure. You could see Cam in there. You could see Stark in there easily. I don't think Jackson's going to play. Obviously, if Stamp is sniping, then Arachnid's not playing, because I've never seen Arachnid play not sniper in a match. So I'm just assuming there's no way that's happening. If he's in there, he's going to snipe. But this is a very, very interesting game. 3H will not be taking this team lightly. I can assure you of that much. Even if you take out them having won against Over, we were never taking this team lightly because they're very fucking scary. Just look at the names on that team and what they can do to you on a moment's notice. It's a scary fucking team. On ANZIO, going to be obviously more on the team play side of things for both sides. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Good luck, have fun to here to frag. I've been saying all week, for the sake of chaos, I feel like we're going to lose this game. So that everyone can split the season series except for the top 2 teams, and they can just be way better than everybody else, like they are. All right. We know what the match of the week is already, by the way, as well. On the other side, I'm curious because I believe that the Solitude overtime between Clinic and Over was set to get played in the week that they were going to play each other again, which is now. So we might get a double header there from Over and Clinic, which would be awesome to get to cast that. All right, so Clinic and Over. For Over, you've basically got 8 active players that play. Till, I'm not sure if he's available to play or not yet. Until we see him play, I'm not going to include him in the possibilities. But Kum, Mata, Devin, Saka, Nick, Caffrey, SC, Nightmare, all options. You got, 2 of the best snipers there's ever been there that could potentially, and both insane on ANZIO as well. Saka, we've seen do some fucking crazy shit on this map. Same with Devin, same with Caffrey, same with SC. Just such a good team. And on the clinic side of things, again, they have a lot of players that could potentially be playing. You got Sam, Insam, and Suave generally on the rifles. If need be, Tom can slot over to a rifle as well. It's kind of like his more natural class, but he's ended up having to heavy out of need on clinic, along with Vic. You could also obviously see Debo or Taylor slot in there on any class. Carpenter on a sniper. You never know. They usually for clinic it seems to be like if they're missing somebody, that's when you're bringing in Debo, that's when you're bringing in Taylor. You know, it's always up in the air when it comes to scheduling, right? But this is another. I mean, we just saw not just a few weeks ago on Solitude these two teams very evenly matched. I hope they play the Solitude overtime on the same day, just so we can see how that goes as well. To get that, it's currently listed as a loss for both teams on the standings, but it's not obviously a loss, so that kind of makes the standings look a little fucky right now. But once that's taken care of, we'll have a little more clear picture of where things are at in gold. Over is great on this map, but so is Clinic. We lost to Clinic on this map, obviously. One of the crazier upsets that there's been in KTP, I'm sure. And it wasn't even a particularly close game. We kind of got blown out by them. Not blown out, like not like 500, but like about 200 points, Clinic are very, very sound on this map because it's a team play map and these guys play together forever, right? Very much an X factor when it comes to this map is Clinic's team play. Over lots of very old school players, guys who have played ANZIO billions of times throughout their days. The heavy matchup on the mid side and plaza side of things going to be very important here. Of course, Caffrey and SC up against Vic and either Tom or Debo or Taylor. Probably one of those can figure. Or if Vic's not there, I guess you could see Debo and Tom. Whatever the case may be, hands are full for both sides there. Who's going double windows for over? Is it going to be a sniper going double windows? We've seen them kind of use that from time to time. The bridge team's going to be nuts, but so is the bridge team for Clinic. These are situations that are very favorable for the incredible mechanics of the Clinic players. But obviously, like Devin, Saka, and Kum, or Devin, Saka, and Nick, or Devin, Kum, and Nick, or Saka, Nick, and like there's so many different variations, or Nightmare in there, like who is the 6 for over, I think is a very helpful to make an accurate prediction in this game. Clinic, I really believe that Clinic is going to end up in the semifinals at least this season. I just feel like that's destiny here. Here's the thing, right? Whoever ends up winning the overtime for Solitude, I feel like the opposite team will win the ANZIO game. That way there's a 4-way tie between the 3rd and 6th seeds. In case I haven't made clear that I want to see that happen. But we don't know who wins the Solitude overtime just yet. So, I talk about all the time how, like, I'd love to always pick Clinic over, obviously, a tough loss last week. I think they're going to be very hungry to win this week, and this is a map where, they can pull that off easily. I think it's a close game either way. I don't see either team blowing each other out of the water. A lot of it will come down to Over's lineup as far as how likely it is that they'll win a close game and how likely it is that they lose a close game here. Do we get to see the Over God Squad? Is that reserved until the playoffs? Because really, what does the regular season matter outside of seedings? At this point, we already know what the seedings are for the most part. The 2 teams with the buys, we definitely know who they are. Mathematically speaking, it's done. So, I don't know. Going to be interesting to see. I'm going to go with... even for Clinic, right? So you don't necessarily know who they could be missing. If you lose Vic, potentially, like losing one of your really main natural heavies, that's a tough loss on this map in particular. When you're missing Scott, or Insam for that matter. If you're missing Sam, you're missing your 3rd rifle, like the backbone of the team. Are you missing Carp? potentially. I mean, you could slide Tom into the sniper. You could slide Debo into the sniper. You could even slide Taylor into the sniper. A lot of people might not remember. Once upon a time, Taylor was a sniper. Just go watch the Sevo Frag of the Week on Shamil, made by this guy, and look at the clip of the week in the Sevo A division. I'm going to go with over here, just because I feel like Clinic will go win the Solitude half. But it could go the other direction, too. You could see over win the Solitude overtime and Clinic win on ANZIO. That's the prediction I'm making, that one of them is going to win the Solitude overtime, and the other one is going to win ANZIO. That's the prediction I'm making. I don't know which direction which at this point. And then for the final prediction, and one of the two biggest games of the week, obviously, silver and gold, we've got top of the game situations coming out here. It's the Dicey Hot rematch. They played each other earlier in the season on Solitude. We can see that score right here. It was 86-70, a 16-point win for Icy Hot, but it was closer than that even, to be honest with you. Like, it came down to one team wipe after Dice got the double cap. Like, really, if just one of the nades or one of the shots was a miss by Icy Hot at that point, Dice hangs on a double cap, wins the game right there. Undefeated season over. Lineup-wise, you know what to expect here for Dice. Matt on a rifle, Element on a third, Asani on a rifle. Heavies, you got Paul and DB, been such a good heavy team all season. Kevin on a sniper, and on Icy Hot, Ben on a sniper. So there's some potential variation here, by the way, because is Mitch there? That's the big question. He's 50-50s from time to time, it seems like, on whether he can show up or not. If he's there, he's on the heavy. If not, you could see Chris. I mean, you could see Casey in there. You could see Tony. You could see Hopper. They got plenty of guns to throw into that spot, along with Jesse on the other heavy, Sean and William on the cars, and Justin on the third. Justin Lynch, the best player in the league last season, is your third rifle. What are you going to do against that? It's tough. Who's going double windows for Dice is the first question, right? I feel like when I've seen these guys, I mean, I know for a fact Matt goes bridge throughout his entire career, right? That much I can say for sure. Asani, I think he could be a good double windows car, to be honest with you. I think a lot of his strengths are similar to the strengths of other successful double windows cars throughout DoD. I'm pretty sure, actually, I've seen Sean go both. He's able to do either one, so you could see William in double windows too. I feel like playstyle-wise, Sean is maybe a little more suited to the double windows side of things and William to the bridge side, but, they could also send fucking Justin double windows with a Stas, or send Ben double windows with a sniper. You could send Element double windows with a Stas on Dice's side, too. I know Asani loves his bridges, as the meme always says in my Twitch chat. So, up in the air as far as that goes. We know where the heavies are going to be. Jesse and Mitch up against Paul and DB. That's a really fun heavy matchup. We'll see what kind of strategy these guys are using to try to be the one to get to hang on to that area of the map most successfully. I always love to see how the top teams play on ANZIO, because there's so many ways that you can approach this map. And yeah, I think these two teams both approach team play DoD at the highest levels in very different ways. So it's kind of a nice mesh of play styles here. Obviously, 12 of the best players in the game, period, right now. This is a tough one, man. I mean, you got to pick Icy Hot, right? Because they haven't lost yet. They won the first matchup with each other. Though Solitude is a little bit more of a fucky map, right? So, like, what does that mean? It could be that it was a little bit more of a fucky map in Dice's favor, and that on a map like ANZIO, Icy Hot will just win by more. Or it could be in the other direction, that Solitude was a little more favorable to Icy Hot's playstyle, and Dice is going to be able to make up that difference and win on ANZIO. I don't know how much Dice loves ANZIO in particular. I know Icy Hot loves it. Again, it's very fitting to all of their individual players and their team unit as a whole. Sniper-wise, of course, like Ben and Stealth, they're going to both be dropping bombs on their areas of the map. It's going to be tough to get by the snipers, even if you can get by the other two guys on those routes individually to get to that point. Man, I don't know. I do not know. I mean, gun to the head, you gotta pick Icy Hot until they lose, but I don't know, man. That's just the what do you want to call it? Like the story beats for Dice this season. Like I feel like they're hitting that point now where they're like about to peak, and this could be the week where like now they're establishing themselves as the team to beat. Like if they could dethrone Icy Hot, ruin that undefeated season for them, that could really set them on the path to win it all. Like I think this week has a lot riding on it in that regard. Because if Dice can go out there and beat Icy Hot, that's a little bit of a mental barrier to have to deal with later on, come like the finals. Now you're having to ban out ANZIO potentially, or do you not ban it out? Do you feel like it was a fluke in the first time? There's so many things on the line this week that are like on the micro side of things that are not going to be evident to just like the average eyes watching this. It's a very, very cool matchup. I can't wait to watch this game, cast this game, please, hopefully. I really want to be able to cast the Dicey Hot game and the Clan X versus SEC games, but we'll see what happens. You never know, scheduling-wise. But yeah, I mean, again, gun to the head, you got to go Icy Hot until they prove that they're even capable of losing a map at all. But no matter what happens, this game is going to come down to the wire. This game is going to be fucking intense. I can assure you of that. And I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of mistakes getting made by either team here. This is DoD at the highest levels, and gonna be fun for everybody to watch. To be honest, just across the board. Looking forward to the silver and the gold match of the weeks on ANZIO. It worked out nicely to get these matchups on ANZIO in particular, because you could have easily seen this be like, oh, Clan X and SEC play each other on Saints, or Icy Hot and Dice play each other on Saints, or on like another like ANZIO, like something that's not as well established for the teams to be able to really maximize the fun level for the viewer. But yeah, that does it. We are wrap. How long did I go this time? Under an hour and a half, but barely. So, stupid me. Couldn't manage to keep it like under an hour 15, but PB's making the frag of the week next week. Get your shit to him. Make sure Justin's got too many clips to work with, as Bill had this week, he said. And yeah, good luck, have fun, everybody. Good luck, have fun here to frag. Make sure you're there every one Sunday for all the casts that are going to be going on, and hopefully I'll get to do at least those 2 big games, along with a few more. All right, now I got to go drive back to Buffalo. Peace.